What's good, YouTube family? It's your boy A-Dubs Picks, and today I'm checking in with another YouTube video. And in today's video, we are going to be doing a blind react to an Anthony Davis article. It's from Bleacher Report. It is the 5 best Anthony Davis landing spots. And the reason I wanted to do this is just so we could talk a little bit about the Mavericks as a whole and their direction forward, and we could highlight where Anthony Davis needs to go. So we're a couple weeks away from the deadline. So a lot of the stuff we're going to talk about is trades. That's going to be a lot of the rumors that we cover, and the things that we go over is going to be trades. So we've done Ja Morant, we've done Giannis. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about Anthony Davis and see where we think he should land and what it may look like for him. So we'll hop right over to the article. I have not read a word of this article yet, so you guys might not even end up seeing this video depending on how clickbaity Bleacher Report really got with it. But let's go ahead and load it up. So the 5 best Anthony Davis landing spots and trade ideas. This is coming at a time where they said Anthony Davis would likely need surgery. He said, don't believe everything you see on the internet. Then another report came out, said he doesn't need surgery. So what's going on with Anthony Davis? You know, who is he going to be out for a couple weeks again? Is he going to be out for several months like the first report said? Who really knows what's going on with it? Anthony Davis doesn't seem to be too fond of the idea of missing a bunch more time, but if he needs that surgery, he will end up ultimately missing several months. So interesting to see what's going to play out there when it comes to his surgery and, you know, the next steps on that. Maybe he gets a third opinion. Who really knows what's going to go on behind the scenes? But that's what time this article is coming out, and I think it's a perfect time for it. So the first one, the Milwaukee Bucks, kind of surprising name to see here. Maybe 4 years ago this would have been cool, Giannis and AD, but right now I just don't know if this is a great one. Just off first thoughts, of course. Let's go ahead and see what Bleacher Report says they'd have to give up. Kyle Kuzma, Bobby Portis, Kevin Porter Jr., Andre Jackson, and a first-round pick swaps in 31 and 32. Right away, that seems to be like a pretty big haul for Anthony Davis at this point in time. Let's see. I mean, and I don't know where the fit comes into play at here in Milwaukee either. It doesn't seem to make a ton of sense for either team. This does not help the Mavericks at all in the direction that they need to go, and this doesn't take the Bucks over the hump to start winning games, especially if Anthony Davis is going to be out for a long time. So it just feels like a big haul for Anthony Davis. Doesn't seem like it helps either team very much. Does this get Giannis happy? Maybe. But I don't see it being a good match for either team. Los Angeles Clippers. Okay, another interesting one. Not one that I would have seen AD, going to, but they have them giving up John Collins, Bogdanovich, Derrick Jones Jr., Chris Paul, and a first-round pick swap in 21 and 32 again. So obviously the Clippers have started this season off really bad. And they need to get back into that playoff range, play-in range, like Bleacher Report says right here. So I could see, these guys that they mentioned are not key rotational pieces. Obviously, John Collins plays a lot of good minutes for the Clippers. Bogdan's out there. Derrick Jones is out there. Chris Paul is sent home. But, AD wouldn't be back until the postseason. I don't mind it. I think it's a good trade if AD was to play. But what is trying to make a superstar tandem of Harden, Leonard, and Davis work together instantly? On paper, it will work well. Obviously, the lob threat to AD is there. The defensive threat of Anthony Davis and Kawhi Leonard is there. But it also doesn't help Dallas at all on the other side of things either. So these are two trades right away that Dallas is getting a lot of older guys, veterans in the league, and they're good players. The players we've talked about so far that Bleacher Report would think would get traded for Anthony Davis is good players, but it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me to get a return like this if you're Dallas, and you have to, honestly, if you're moving AD, you're going to want to rebuild. So I don't know if I like this one a ton. The Bulls. I could see this one making sense. This one makes sense. This is Anthony Davis's hometown, which is nice. Vucevic is a big trade target. I think he's one of the guys to watch. Vucevic can help a contender. He could also be a contract that you can get rid of and allow a team to have contract flexibility. So Vucevic is a name to watch. Patrick Williams obviously has not lived up to any type of hype. In the first round pick swaps in 31 and 32 again. Out of the 3 trades so far, right off the bat, this is my first one. But yeah, this first sentence right here is another thing that I thought of is Patrick Williams' deal. Which maybe Patrick Williams just needs a change of scenery, but um, he's not lived up to any type of expectations. He's one of the worst top 4 picks that I can think of in a long time. So I like this one. I think it helps both teams a little bit. The Bulls, maybe this gets them into that 6 seed range in a weaker Eastern Conference with Anthony Davis. It also comes down to if he's going to play or not, which is a big thing in this article, which really sucks. Anthony Davis always hurt. But out of the 3 trades so far, this is, by far my favorite one. So yeah, Davis doesn't instantly turn them into contenders, but Josh Giddey would spoon feed him open looks at the rim. He's obviously a far better defender than Vooch. Yeah, so this one makes the most sense. If any of them happen, I could see this one because Vucevic is a name to watch. Patrick Williams and a couple first-round swaps go to the Mavericks. They get a little bit of draft capital. They get expiring contracts, and they get the potential of Patrick Williams. Anthony Davis gets to return home to Chicago, and it's actually not a bad fit because of this sentence right here. He's going to be a better defender than Vucevic, and he's going to get easy looks at the rim from Josh Giddey. So I'm a huge fan of this one. Toronto Raptors. Okay. Oh, wow. This is a big haul right here. Ingram, Jakob Poeltl, Garrett Temple, a top 3 protected first-round pick for Anthony Davis and D'Angelo Russell. Yeah, Brandon Ingram, I like the idea of Brandon Ingram. I think he fits really nicely with the Raptors. I don't see him being a great fit with Dallas. That mid-range, get the ball in his hands, let him post up on the elbow is just not really going to do a whole lot. And then, yeah, Jakob Poeltl can't stretch the floor, so what are we going to do with Derek Lively and Daniel Gafford? So this one seems a little bit weird for fit purposes. I don't mind the package. It seems a little steep, but I guess offloading D'Angelo Russell is another thing the Mavericks may look to do. And to get back a guy like Brandon Ingram and a first-round pick could be beneficial. They just have to work around some things. I don't know if the fit is the best, but I could see this working out for Dallas, especially better than the first 2 trades. And then for Toronto, I feel like, Toronto's been all right this season. I don't know if they should mess with what they got. I don't see giving up draft capital. They're not good enough to be going all in and giving up draft capital, especially if Anthony Davis is going to miss several months and come back for playoffs. So, not a terrible trade, but it just doesn't seem like a great fit that I would look to. I don't think this one will happen. And this one is the one that everyone's been talking about, the Atlanta Hawks. This one was one that I thought of. I thought AD could go there. Then they traded Trey, so I was a little skeptical about should they make a move for Anthony Davis if they just got rid of Trae Young. But I think this is helpful. So let's go ahead and see who Bleacher Report is thinking the Mavericks should return or get in return. Kristaps Porzingis, the former first overall pick, Zachary Richardson, and a 2031 first round. That's a huge haul for Anthony Davis. To me, Kristaps doesn't play either. Zach doesn't live up to his expectations so far. He's probably the worst first round pick in the last however many years. I guess that's really what they're banking on in this deal. Because they're kind of trading part-time player for part-time player and Porzingis and AD. The Mavericks get back. It makes perfect sense for the Mavericks. You get the potential, and it doesn't work out for you. Well, you've got a former first number one overall pick and a 2031 first from a team that may not be very good in 2031. Dallas side, this is one of my favorite packages. I think this is actually the best package for them to return. On Atlanta side, I don't know if I'm a huge fan of this. I don't think it's time to give up on Zach yet. You like I said, trading part time for part time, and you're giving up a 31 first when you don't know what your team's going to look like in 5 years. Um, I guess it makes them a better team. Also, a lot of this that's another thing that makes reacting to Anthony Davis trades hard is because he's a player that's going to make a team better. He's going to take them to a contending level. But if he plays, though, he has to play for any of these deals to make sense. Because Anthony Davis isn't someone that you're going to go all in for and, rebuild your team around. You don't know if this guy's going to play. So a lot of these trades are dependent on what Anthony Davis looks like, and what his recovery looks like. Is he having surgery? I mean, that's just a tough part about this, and that's what comes with Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis, I don't know if he's played 60 games in the last like 10 seasons. I'd have to fact check myself there. It's something that I've looked at before. I don't remember off the top of my head, but I mean, he's not on the court. He's not available. So you're gonna try to go all in on Anthony Davis, but you don't know if you're gonna get to play with Anthony Davis. And if he comes back, he might be on a minor restriction, and two, how is he gonna gel with your team if he's not back until the playoffs? It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. But it does make sense for me to say that Dallas should get rid of him, because they need a better sense of direction. Anthony Davis sitting on your bench. If you can cash in and get anything back from him, you need to do so. Um, they're bad without Anthony Davis. I think on the season they're like 4-13 without Anthony Davis, which makes life tough. But he's only played 20 games. They're like 8-8 with him, or something like that, less than 20 games. So when he's on the floor, Anthony Davis is definitely a threat. I'm not a fan of him personally. I really try to put all my biases to the side for this video. But it's overall, man, it's a tough one. Yeah. It's a tough one because you don't know what Anthony Davis you're getting. Is he going to be available for you? Is he not? So the trade packages, some of them make sense. I didn't like the one to Milwaukee or LA, but the other three to Chicago, to Atlanta, and what was the other one? I can't remember. Toronto makes a little bit of sense. The fitment isn't necessarily there, but it's better than LA or Milwaukee for sure. But all in all, I think it's time for the Mavericks to make a move and find their identity, find a sense of direction, and go from there. But I also don't know who wants Anthony Davis, because is he going to play? Is he not? So it'll be interesting to see what happens. If I had to make a guess, I really like that Bulls trade with Vucevic, because Vuce is a name to watch. So I like the Bulls one. But the Bulls don't make moves. I don't know. It's tough, man. It's tough. Let me know what y'all think down below in the comments if Anthony Davis is going to go anywhere. If he does, where should he go? Definitely holler at me. Let me know in the comments. We're going to have a bunch more trade videos. We're going to talk about the deadline and all those things coming up. So, yeah, definitely stay tuned in. A lot more videos to come. We're going to have Meet the Capper episode 2 with Cam. Cam hit me up, and Camden Plays is back. So we're going to get him on here soon, and Cam said he wants to be on the channel a lot more than just Meet the Capper. So we're going to go ahead and do that coming up soon too. So make sure y'all tap in. Appreciate you guys if you made it this far into the video.